Okay, this is a short video on how to configure trial entrance into That's My Biz for the Loot Council of Me So Hordie. So first step is to go to that'smybiz.com, then click on Me So Hordie, and then this is Guildmaster's view, but then what you do is you go to roster there, and then just wait for that to load. Meanwhile, load onto the guild roster. Go over to whatever raid it is, usually live roster. Change the drop down box and the filter to TMB Prio's done. And what you're looking for here is people who are rostered, but we basically haven't done their That's My Biz list stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and grab I Hate When, and then go over to That's My Biz again. I'm going to do Control F, paste, and then go down to them. So what you can see here is that they've got a biz list arranged, but they don't have a biz list set up in Prios. So this is one person, and this currently is in a state where this person has got their wish list loaded into ICC there. But sometimes you'll have instances where the social or trial will have it only in this list. So really, this is like a not necessarily a raw person to work with. So let's go find one of those. So we'll try and puff here, and then go back to, oh wait, here. So we're really looking for somebody who's not even had their list imported yet. So he has had his list imported into ICC. Let's check somebody else. Let's check Lohu. Just takes a while for the whole list to load. Okay, there's Lohu and Lohu's. So if I click on them, and looks like they've got a very immature version of their ICC list activated. So if I go to their Try on Socials wish list, yeah. So what we've got here is you've got a comprehensive list here. Shadow Moon shouldn't be on there because it's not a loot cancelled item via this system. And what we need to do is need to import all of this into his ICC wishlist. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open their wishlist in a new tab like that, and I'm going to go to edit. No, I'm not. Back to wish list. And I believe I can just blank edit it now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of these ones that are already here. I'm going to go back into Lohu themselves, and I'm going to start adding these items. Unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be a way to, or I haven't been able to find out a way to export the entire list. See, these are loot received, so I deleted those in error. So I'm just going to, I can't do anything about it now. So, right. Okay. Yeah, so there doesn't seem to be a way that I can just export this list or migrate this list, or I'm not aware of a way of doing it. So all I'm going to do is literally side by side go through the items. I'm going to restore those loot received items there. Always checking to see if it's a heroic or not. So, protectors. Okay, and now I'm going to start filling out their ICC list. It's literally just a case of copy and paste, really. So, you still have to add the items that they've already received, though. It's a bit of a nose, but hey ho. Essentially, we need to find a way of doing this that's a lot easier than what this way is now. I mean, what I might just do is just open up the list anyway, so that you can just skip this step, so it's just easier. The reason why we separated the lists was that we didn't want people going in retrospectively and then changing their original pre-phase 4 lists after a loot council takes place. To game the system. Not that anybody would game the system, but we have had a few undesirable characters leave the guild. I'm just going to make the assumption that all of their items are heroics. Just don't fall into the trap of putting normal items down, because it definitely won't be the case. We've had a couple of members in the past where they've added normal versions and then they've been effectively shafted on the loot council priors after that. Yeah, because they're essentially, their prior number doesn't come up in the list when we allocate the heroic loot, because we never allocated the normal loot. So it's annoying when you've got items of tier and essentially you have to type out the entire name to get to the end. Essentially, you have to get to the end of the actual prefixes, so sanctified Yimjars, lords, blah blah blah, to actually auto-complete it properly. Okay, so down to Ashen Band. Next one is Frost Brood Sapphire Ring. Next one is Whispering Fanged Skull. Deathbringers. Sylvanas Cunning. Not sure why he's put that down, which is fine if it's in the Blizz list, but essentially he's sacrificed a kind of wishlist prio placement for something that he's not going to get from Ice Crown. Essentially, the way to look at That's My Biz list is that you have effectively 17 points or 17 placements of priority to spend on items, and you want to spend your number 1 to number 5 on really, really meaningful items, but you don't want to include BOEs or stuff that comes from rep anywhere other than the bottom of your list, because it's just basically going to depreciate the priority that gets placed on this item and everything below it. It's just the way the system works. Unfortunately, we don't have the time to police everybody's lists. We did push out some guidance on it. I don't always put tabards on there for pointless cosmetic items. Okay, so now that's been added, just press save. And now what we want to do is we want to assign the priorities for each of these individual items. So now I've got Sanctified Yimjars, Lords, blah, 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 blah. And you can't really see it because it's not full screen. But it's related to this item. So then you update the priors for this item. Now, the way we roll in Me So Hordie is if somebody joins in and they've put a number 1 item for sanctified blah blah blah, essentially if their number 1 is higher than something already here, they go as a trial at the bottom of the highest number. So say for example we've got Jaman here, well Jaman's left the game, but we'll respect the order because he might come back. So we go to character priors here and we go to raiders, and what we do is we put Lohu in at number 3 behind Jaman. It also says that Jaman's received that one, so we could put him in there. This is a bit tedious. Okay, so he's not showing up, so we have to first add him to the raid group. So if I go to settings, it's not there, it's raids, raid groups, and then go to main raiders on raiders, and I'm looking for Lohus. Okay, so there's Lohu, so I'm going to drag him across. Now that he's added, he'll show up in the list. Copy this link, paste it over. Go to the related item where the priors are generated from. Go to edit priors, raiders. Sometimes it's really annoying because it doesn't complete instantly, so it's jumping around and the UI doesn't sync up to where your mouse is. So there, Lohu appears. The only thing that's annoying about this whole process is that you go to the bottom of the list. If you're doing like a single item update like this, you can just type the number in and press save. But if you're doing like loot, priors, and then you click on an entire raid, if you do that, it saves the entire changes that you've made so far. So I'd always recommend that this way is better than just doing the entire raid list. Do the entire raid list at a normal loot council, but not here. So I'm going to put him as number 4 because he's behind Jaman's, or rather it would be 4 because it's behind Jaman's first bid order there. So in summary, if a trial has a number 1 prio, that doesn't necessarily put them straight at the top of the list. What it does do, however, it puts them in equal contention to the highest person in terms of priors. So here you've got Lohu as number 1, but because he's a new entrant, we go down to the next raider who's not received loot, and then we put his number 1 into a number 2 spot at the bottom of the number 2 contentions. So then look down the list, Jaman, Batistuta, and then we put him underneath Jaman's first one, which would give him a rank of 4. And then we press enter and submit. And hopefully when we refresh it, it's put him into the correct place, which it has. So next one is Lanathal's chain, but he's already received that, so it doesn't matter. We're not going to waste any time with that. So I'm going to grab the next one. Again, item of tier. So priors, can't set priors for this item. Related mark there. So he's put this as his number 3. So then we go to priors, raiders, and his number 3 would be equal to his current number 3, so he'd go below himself. So I'm going to add him in there. This becomes less formulaic, more simple later. 4. And then there he is again. Right, next one again, it's another sanctified Yimjar's breastplate, which is a number 4 prio. So we go to edit priors again. Might just do all of these just to make it easier. So number 4 puts him in equal contention with Jaman's second one, but below Batistuta. So we write it in as a 6. Obviously this is taking a certain amount of time to do because I'm explaining it, but once you get into the rhythm of it and doing it yourself, just goes so quickly. So looking at it again, prio number 4. Prio number 4 brings him down to underneath himself again, so down to 4, and then submit. think you might be able to do multiple ones of these. Okay, and then the final item material is Prio number 6. So Prio number 6 puts him below Exnor. So it puts him below Exnor, below Denu. So below Exnor and Denu. So look down the list. First Denu is 8, first Exnor is 9, so he becomes a Prio 9. So Lohu. Go find him in the bottom. Press 9. I think you can do multiple ones of these, so that would have been a lot easier. Okay, so that's his tier done. Next thing we want to do is we want to go through all the individual items. So Cold Wave links. I'm going to press copy on that. Paste it over here. So if I go to Prios, Edit, Raiders, and he's put Prio 5. At the moment, that puts him above Batistuta. So then we put him on equal footing to Batistuta, which puts him at Prio number 4. So I go Lohu. And in this instance, because it's just like draggable, because it's all just one screen, I just do that. Makes it so much easier. So that's that done. And the rest of this stuff is just going to be mega easy following this now. So paste my link in, go to edit, Raiders, add Lohu. And it's straight up cut and dry now because it's it shows me the priors there and it just puts them as a 7, so it's immediately below Batistuta. So that's done. Polar something something. Let's go to there. I'm not going to talk it through so much. I'm just going to go through. Actually just do it. So I've got Lohu again. Again, add him, and says to me that he's at a number 8. So that puts him on an equal footing to Tulislav, but Tulislav is like inactive now, so I'm just going to put him above. And also Tulislav is an alt of a main raider in another guild, so don't care. Yep, so Polar Bear Claw Bracers, that's done. Let's go to Adriana's secret gloves of whatever. Paste that in. Edit Prios, Readers, and then we've got Lohu. Lohu Prio 9, which puts him below Kriminos. Kriminos is the only person yet to receive it, so puts him above Kriminos, but it puts him below him because he's a trial entrant, and everybody else has received that item, so submit. Okay, so that's Adriana's Gloves of Secrecy. He's wasted his 10 Prio because he's put Ashen Band of Vengeance, and now we go on to Frost Sapphire Ring. Edit Prios. Raiders. Let's put Lohu on there. Lohu Priority 11 puts him above Tulislav. Does it put him above Denu? No, it doesn't. So there he goes. Next one is Whispering Fanged Skull. I think that's 10-man loot. I think it is. Let's look. How would you know? Yeah, 10 normal. So again, even though it might be considered to be a valuable item, it's not useful to us because we don't loot council 10 man. So we'll skip that. Copy link address, paste that in. And then we've got Deathbringer's Will, highly contested item. Not sure why he's got it so down at his list. It's such a massive DPS gain. Look at all the competition for it. So Lohu has got that as priority 13. So that's an easy one, straight to the bottom. Although we've had quite a lot of drops of this so far, so it might not take him too long to get it. But that was just silly. Not sure why he's done that. Next one, Savannah's Cunning. That's from TOTC, so that's not relevant. Lauren's Egg. Copy link address. See, what I've noticed about this list here is he's basically carbon copied it from a Wowhead biz list, and you can see this because it always puts like helmet first and then the weapons last. Why on earth would you put the weapons last when they have the most impact on your DPS output and trinkets last? But hey ho, that's his loss. At the end of the day, we did provide a guidance document as to how people can do this, full explanation. If people don't read it, then they miss out at the end of the day. So gonna edit prios, raiders, and then we've got Lohu down as 13, so right to the bottom of the list again. Always recommend that people read the instructions. And then Fallon Rush, edit, raiders, and we've got him down as number 16 for his. Okay, and then that is how you complete a list. Any questions, let us know.